Governor Little's signature will impact the signature gathering process, right, Andrew?
Yeah, that initiative process to be exact, Brian. And so essentially 63,000 signatures from registered voters are needed to get an initiative on the ballot. The idea is to prove a sufficient number of people from at least 18 legislative districts want that proposed law to be up for a vote of the people in the first place. It's often called citizen lawmaking instead of relying on the state legislature. And today, the House gave their green light to a bill that requires paid signature gatherers to disclose they are getting paid. It now too moves to the governor's desk after a quick debate on the floor.
One of the things that we see as big money interests, special interests, get a move into the state and move some of the policies that they like by throwing a whole bunch of money at hiring people to collect signatures on ballot measures or initiatives. And that's what this bill does. We're just trying to make sure that when people sign on to the initiatives that they understand it may not be a grassroots. It may be someone from outside that's paying someone to collect on these.
Anybody who's opposed to this ballot initiative can just go in and say, oh, you know what, they didn't tell me they were paid, so you got to throw out all the signatures. And how are you supposed to verify it? Are signatures supposed to wear body cams? There's no process for how you resolve this, and a he said, she said. So if we were so worried about transparency and voters knowing who's paying for what, we don't do this for any other political activity. I can spend $1 million hiring people to knock every door in my district, telling everybody that Alana Rubel is the cat's meow. But they wouldn't have to tell a soul. They wouldn't have to wear a pin or tell anybody that I'm paying them.
Representative Rubel also brought up a few other points. First, she says if a paid petitioner gathers 20 signatures and they fail just once to say they're paid, all 20 signatures would be thrown out. Rubel also questions the constitutionality of this bill. The state Supreme Court said years ago they will protect the initiative process as a right of the people from unnecessary burdens. It's unclear if this bill meets that burden standard, but citizen lawmaking group Reclaim Idaho says you have to look at the situation through a wide lens.
Well, this is not a bill that would directly affect the work that we do, because overwhelmingly our signature gatherers are ordinary volunteers. But what is very clear is that this is just yet another attack on the initiative process. Every year there are legislators who come out with legislation that attack the initiative process. Never do they consult us about it. We believe the reason is clear. They don't like citizen initiatives. They don't like citizens to take matters into their own hands. The Idaho Supreme Court declared that the initiative process is a fundamental right of the people of Idaho. And they've also signaled very clearly that they are willing to strike down any law that places a burden on that right. So any one of these bills may not, take that right away. But when they keep accumulating and they keep making it harder and harder to put initiatives on the ballot, that's where we have to worry that the initiative process could become unworkable.
The Secretary of State's office says they do not know of a single active petition in the state that is paying people to gather signatures. They understand their role in this would to be about education, teaching groups, including Reclaim, about the details of that law. It has now passed both chambers, Brian. It's going to the governor's desk, ironically, needing his signature now to become law.
Right. I think that point is made. We don't know if any agencies or organizations do pay people to gather these signatures, to stand out there on the corner on a Saturday during a market or something like that.
Reclaim says their people are volunteers.
All volunteers. I think the ones that were gathering petitions or signatures for, remember the monument, the Boise 10 Commandments monument? All 18,000 of those signatures also came from volunteers. So that goes back 20 years or so. Anyway, we'll see what happens if the governor signs this or not. Thank you very much, Andrew.